check out Epidemic Sound. Find your perfect track.
All right, and thank you very much for tuning in. I apologize about the change in schedule, but we had a team that didn't want to stream their scrim because they are prepping for a tournament, which is completely understandable. No hate there, and I wish them the best of luck in their tournament. So tonight we are going to be streaming my friends playing their Clash tournament instead. They've already played one game and won, so they're playing in the winner's bracket. They are the blue team right now, so they're going to be Senna, Volibear, Pantheon, Cassiopeia, and Fiora. Going into Inside Esports, which looks like they've got a Mumu, Nautilus, Ezreal, Vagar, and Mordekaiser. I'm excited to see how it goes. I think it's going to be a fun match. The Ezreal, again, super strong, but I know how well Froggy plays Cassiopeia, so I'm excited to see that in the bot lane and see how it turns out. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to go live here in just a couple moments to the game once it loads up for us, so thanks and stay tuned. All right, and the game is loading up for us as we speak. Like I said, they won their first game, so I'm excited to see how the second game turns out. This is going to be determining whether they play for first, second, or third, fourth. Looks like Ezreal has a lot of experience on his champ. The rest of them, not too much, so I think this will go just fine.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Just so you can see me a little bit more. You're welcome. Alright. Get everything pulled up here for you. And
30 seconds until minions spawn.
here we go. We've got a 5-man stack for Invade. They're worried about the Nautilus coming in. He's just going to drop Vision and kind of back out there. The rest of their team did a pretty good job of pointing out. Top side's a little open. But I'm excited. I love the Pantheon mid. Charizard's an excellent player. Fiora is a tank buster, so I want to see her go into Mordekaiser. Like I said, the cast bot lane with the Senna, I think it's a good combo. You have an AD AP mix. You have distance provided by the Senna. You have the heals. You've got the sustain, and you've got a lot of burst coming out of the Cassiopeia. And Volibear right now, solid. Divine Sunder on him, I think, is going to be very strong as well. So I'm excited to see how that looks. Checking out the builds, nothing too crazy. Looks like we've got Challenging Smite over there. Chilling Smite on both of them. So we'll see how this game gets going, but here we go. Early Smite coming out of Gel, just to get moving. And the thing that I'm going to be really looking for is the kind of engage this Nautilus gets off, because I think the Senna is going to want to play around counter-engaging her. The Nautilus should come in, hopefully they miss, and then they drop the W on them after they hit level 3 or so, and they'll be able to turn the fights around is what I'm hoping for. The heal coming out of the Q from Senna should be a nice sustain, so I definitely want to see him utilizing that, especially into that Ezreal, who's going to be very mobile, dancing around, jumping around, so I want to see how that turns out. And there those souls go. We're going to pay attention to Slooper Cooper and how many souls he gets, because that's going to be a huge factor in this game, is if he's able to scale that up a lot, get the distance, get the attack speed, get the extra attack damage, and get a little bit of the lifesteal from all those souls that he stacks up. And so far it's going beautifully. Just for a quick frame of reference, he is at 5 souls so far, so not terribly bad. This Ezreal's already a little chunked out, but the boys got the lane and the bot lane at least froze right where they want it, and it looks like Kakaith is doing the same thing up top, or Kaikath rather, is doing the same thing up top. He's got the lane frozen in a nice spot for him. It's going to leave Dat Joe in a good spot to be able to try and come up and gank him, so we want to see if he moves in on that. Oh no, Slooper Cooper getting busted up, has to bust out to heal. First blood goes over to Froggy. They're able to stay alive. They're going to go in on the Nautilus here. Lots of damage coming out. The Cassiopeia is just doing work and gets a double kill on Cassiopeia. That is fantastic for Froggy. He's going to be able to pump out a lot of damage now, and especially having that nice gold lead and the experience lead that's going to come from this, I expect that to be a huge snowball for the bot lane. Meanwhile, Kaikath sitting here taking a little bit of damage, but again, that lane is nice and frozen where he wants it to be. It exposes the Mordekaiser, keeps him in an unfavorable position the entire time. And Charizard is just doing some work, trying to push this wave in, taking a lot of damage, but that Veigar is AF, as the kids say, so he is not in a position to be able to do anything much besides just try and last hit there. Meanwhile, Nautilus roaming up, trying to get that hook, but gets stunned with the W and isn't able to do too much there. Let's see what they're coming back with. So Cassiopeia coming back to lane with a lost chapter, and the poor Ezreal is only coming back with a call. So that is not the best start for him, must admit. Charizard taking quite a bit of damage, trading out his health, but the other champion, Veigar, has no mana at all, and it looks like he's going to back off. And again, we want to pay attention to how many souls that Senna gets. Right now she's at 16, so that's going to be huge for her. You can see it in the bottom left corner there. There we go. I think I finally got everybody where they should be. Senna's trying to figure out a way to go up there and get that soul. Fiora has a nice little lead, about a wave and a half, 2 waves up on the Mordekaiser. The Cassiopeia up 2 kills, down 2 CS, so there's no real difference there except for those kills, which is great for her. Jungle's about equal and mid lane's about equal, so I'm excited to see how this game goes, considering the gold is all on Cassiopeia right now. She's going to be the win condition, bar none, for the team right now at this point. Excuse me. There's Charizard getting hit up with the Vagar E, but he's able to get out of it. Stays alive and is finally back, and he's sitting on quite a bit of gold right now, so I'm excited to see what he comes back with. Here's bot lane engaging on the Nautilus, doing some heavy damage. He has to flash to try and get out of there. He's going to run away for his life, and Cassiopeia just starts hitting Ezreal, trading out the damage one for the other. They put themselves in a very dominant position. Don't like where the wave's frozen, but they're going to just be pushing this more than likely and trying to move that wave up. Good for them. As we were talking about, Pantheon coming back to lane with a Dirk and Boots, so he's a little bit more mobile, trying to dodge those skill shots from the Vagar, which will be nice for him. And Cassiopeia, again, just continuing to chunk out and put damage onto the enemy bot lane. That's the main goal there. Hit them with that W so they can't move around a lot, try and get them with a Q, try and get them with an E, and just continue to poke out and get that poison ticking on them. Very excited for them. And they're roaming up right now. It looks like they're trying to get Scuttle or maybe roaming for a gank mid. We'll have to keep an eye out and see what they do. It looks like they're just going for Scuttle at this point. And again, so far neither person in the top lane is backed. Kaikath doing a great job of sustaining, keeping the CS right where he wants it. Still up about 10 CS, which is phenomenal. The Cassiopeia going heavy, drops the R down on the Nautilus. He's going to get chunked out and die right before Ezreal fell to him, and that is another 2-kill net gain for the boys in the bot lane. And making note of that, it's 8.5 minutes, and they've already got the sighting objective complete on Senna, and they also secure the first dragon, making sure that they've got Infernal Drake going their way. And up in top lane, they're just they're happy to farm it out up here. I mean, so far nobody's come up for ganks. Nobody's tried to do anything crazy. Knowing that the dragon's down and the Rift Herald's next, it may be an objective that we see them start moving towards. So there might be a little bit more action up here. But Kaikath has kept the lane frozen right where he wants it to be, which is awesome for him. He's done a great job of keeping that lane not moving and just picking up that CS to 9 experience, to 9 gold from the Mordekaiser, so that he's able to get that lead and maintain it. Oh, Flash coming out of the Mordekaiser for a gank from Volibear up top side, relieving some of that pressure so that Kaikath can get back and spend some of that gold. Mumu nowhere in sight, thankfully. There comes the ult from Senna to try and help out the Charizard. Pantheon mid isn't able to quite land it on the Vagar, and he's going to be able to get away and still have his life. Looks like he's going to stay in the area and try and catch some of the wave that comes back to him, though. He is very low, but about as low as the Pantheon, so we'll see who wins this trade out here. Meanwhile, Senna's just holding the wave here so they can't get any turret plates, which is a great strategy so that they don't just give up free gold to the lane that they're already abusing. And he's able to stay away. Is he going to be able to get out of there? The flash comes out of Vagar. And it looks like the flash was matched by the Charizard, and he's able to get back to lane. Nautilus roaming up isn't able to get much off the roam. Dat Joe currently working on Rift Herald. We'll see if anything comes of it. You've got Nautilus roaming up, going to try and put vision on it, it looks like, but he is going to continue to draw that out and see if there's anything we can do. Meanwhile, he's going to back. Vagar backs, and they're going to put themselves in a position where they're able to possibly get this here. We're going to have to see for just a second. But it looks like they are going to secure this Rift Herald, and that goes over to the side of the boys as they are going to move forward with the next objective. Congratulations to them. Meanwhile, Kaikath came up here and is able to get... Very good. Is able to get the Iron Spike Whip, able to get the Kindle Gem and Boots. So, you love to see that. The objective is... mid, it looks like they're going to drop Rift Herald mid, try and get those turret plates over on the side of the boys, and that's going to put them at a gold advantage of almost 3,500 at just about 10 minutes into the game. Alright. Kaikath wanting to try and trade out a little bit with the Mordekaiser here. Charizard playing aggressive as can be. Goes in for the dive. 2-man underneath. Takes a couple turret shots. Falls. But does lock down the kill for Volibear. And that is a 1-for-1 trade out. Again, not too much going on top lane. They're both even in CS. The Amumu has a slight CS lead, but the Volibear has a kill. Veigar is getting a little bit of a CS lead. And the bot lane right now for the side of the boys is just doing phenomenal, continuing to crush it. Little damage traded on to Cassiopeia there. The W lands as well as the ult going to take heavy amounts of damage. Looks like Volibear might be in the area and something could come from it. Meanwhile, he's going to get healed up from the Senna. W misses, but right now they're just kind of trading back and forth at this point. Here comes the Amumu going in on the Pantheon. He's got him locked down, hits him with the R. The ult comes out, trying to provide a little bit of safety for him. However, he's going to get blown up by the Veigar and falls in mid. Now we've got the Volibear coming in for the gank. The stun lands on Nautilus. The Ezreal's going to slip away, but that Nautilus is going to fall to the burn of Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia continuing to go in and just try and get some more damage onto that Ezreal, push him off the turret. Mordekaiser's up about a level or so. Has a little bit more health. Looks like he's continuing to just try and push this in. Meanwhile, the boys are going to go for the second drag over there. Mumu is going to come over and try and stop them. However, the ult out of Ezreal, the teleport coming out of Veigar, and it shuts down the Cassiopeia. But second drag does go over to the side of the boys. They've still got about a little less than 3k gold lead, still maintaining the lead, but losing it slowly. Not anything too dramatic, but it is going to be enough to start to notice it here. Gore Drinker finally completed on the Fiora, which is very nice. Going to give it a little additional heal when they're in the middle of a fight, which will be great for her. Especially going into a Mordekaiser who just wants to run at you, pull you, and start smacking you. Here comes the Pantheon going in. The flash comes out of the Mordekaiser, the Ignite. Bunch of damage coming down onto the Mordekaiser, and he falls to Fiora. These two are just going to push the wave here. Meanwhile, Volibear drops over to mid to try and give some protection. And the boys have got to be wondering where everybody's at. And it looks like they're going to go wall up on the turret top side and just try and get as much of that knocked down as they can before Mordekaiser is even spawned. He does have teleport, so I expect to see teleport getting procced right now. But he's going to run. They knock down the turret, and down in bot side, they are able to just disintegrate the Nautilus. Nice blind W onto the Amumu from Senna. They're going to give chase here. They're going to back out. A lot of vision in the bush. Amumu tries to send out the blind Q to see if he can catch a stun. Nothing comes of it. And the bot lane's going to reset. And it looks like the boys are able to get top tier 1 turret and bottom tier 1 turret. So that gives them a little bit of pressure and mobility for the bot lane and top to kind of swap around and move if they need to. They're up 6 kills, 2 objectives, and they've got about a 4,000 gold lead at 15 minutes into the game. Very impressive for the boys. That's what I like to see from the guys that I play with. So, good job. And we're going to do a quick check-in on Senna. Senna's at 68 souls. Cassiopeia flashes get caught out by the Vhagar W, catches a little bit of damage, but they get the tier 1 outer turret for mid now. All 3 outer turrets for the side of red have fallen. That gives blue side a lot of pressure here to do what they need to. Fiora's going bot lane, going to play a little bit with Ezreal down here so that she can get more CS. The Mordekaiser is going to stay on their top side, and it looks like they're putting a lot of priority on this Rift Herald. They're really willing to have a fight over it. Ezreal can always fire his ult out. It looks like that is up, so he might be able to get out there and do some damage additionally. However, they're going to go for the Rift Herald here, and they're going to turn and go on to Mordekaiser. The Chilling Smite comes out onto Mordekaiser. Volibear is going to get the stun onto him. They're pumping out damage. Is he going to fall? There's no turret you have to worry about, and Senna is able to secure the kill. That gives them man advantage on the field. 4+ on top side. They're going to go ahead and go for the Rift Herald next. They've got about 2 minutes before that falls. Nice dash from Kai Kath and is able to stay alive. Going to back and get out of there. And it looks like they're not going to worry about the Rift Herald. They're going to leave it up at this point. Oh, nope, they're going to go for it. Looks like they can't make up their mind what they want to do. Doing a great job of putting pressure where they can on the map to keep everybody running around. They're trying to push and pull the map as much as they can. You've got Pantheon on the top side trying to drag as many people up there. You've got Kakaith in the bottom trying to do what he can on the bot side and keep Ezreal docked up down there. Meanwhile, Volibear and Senna are going to be working on getting that Rift Herald. They've got about another minute 5 seconds before it disappears from the field. So this is a nice little job of playing the map, making sure that they're pushing and pulling in the right places. Dragon's going to be joining the field in about 35 seconds. It is a Cloud Drake, Soul. So we're going to see them secure or fight over that here in the next 30 minutes. 30 seconds. If it was 30 minutes, that would be a hell of a game. The stun comes in onto Charizard. The pullback from Mordekaiser. He's going to try and get out of there. Drops his shield. Still taking damage. The ultimate comes out from Senna, giving him a little bit of shielding, and he's going to get out of there. That kill is denied, and nothing comes of it. We've got pings from the blue side saying they want to start Dragon when it comes up. It's already up, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, let's go get a look on it. Yes, it looks like Froggy09 and Slooper Cooper are going to sit there and just melt the Dragon away. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser gets taken out by Volibear. The Cloud Drake goes over to the blue team, and they are up almost 6,000 points to almost 6,000 gold. They're up 8 kills, 3 dragons, 3 turrets. This, my friends, is it's a showing. It's a very good showing. They might be playing for first and second place here. Let's get that out of the way. Froggy going to take quite a bit of damage from the Vhagar and gets blown up with the ult coming out. They're going to drop Rift Herald topside, get the tier 2 turret. Nautilus tries to re-engage. The flash has to come out of the Amumu. They blow up Nautilus. A lot of damage going on to the Amumu. Turret shots and getting pulled by Mordekaiser out here. There we go. And let's see what's going to happen here. Mordekaiser has to flash. Volibear taking quite a bit of damage from the Vhagar. The stun comes out from Mumu. He misses. They're going to use the speed up and shroud and get out of here. Super Cooper caught by the shield, and it looks like he is going to miss his W, have to flash away, but he's still alive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a game. He is just playing for his life right now. And the disengage is successful. They're able to get that top turret and back out of there. Meanwhile, Ezreal has just been down here on the bot side fighting the entire time with K-Kath. I don't know if they are trying to keep the Mordekaiser away from him, let him get some solo XP, try and get him a solo turret gold, but he has not moved from this bot lane. I don't know if that's the right strategy or not. We'll have to see. Right now you've got Kai-Kath with a great lead up on the top, from the top lane with about 20 CS or so. 3 kills over to the side of the boys' jungler. You've got the Vhagar doing pretty well into the. There comes the stun from the. Oh, there comes the stun from the Cassiopeia. Is able to chunk out the the Nautilus gets hit by the Veigar stun, but Veigar is going to get blown up by the Pantheon and the Senna. Meanwhile, the Volibear was able to chase down the Mordekaiser and secure that kill, and it is a 3-for-1 trade. Definitely worth it in the end. Kaikath is able to stay bot side and continue to push that into the second tier. And meanwhile, the mid-tier 2 turret is going to fall to this 3-man push here. Both members of the red team trying to defend as much as they can, but only so much they can do. Meanwhile, the Fiora is just going to do what she does and split push on the bot side. And very well played from the blue team here. Let's do a quick check-in at souls. 89 souls. Very good for a 22-minute game, and we're going to see the dragon spawning here in about 2 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if they reset after they take this turret, go for dragon, then push for Baron. That's what I would do if I were on their team. The engage comes from Nautilus onto the Volibear. He's dropping his shield. Stun comes out onto Amumu. Slooper Cooper barely alive, taking damage. They're just going to disengage here. It's a 5-man chase after them. You've got Charizard and Froggy both matching down. They're going to hide in the pixel bush. Gets a 4-man ult from Cassiopeia. The melting comes through, and it's a 3-man trade over from the side. They're going to flash after him. Veigar taking damage, Amumu taking damage. Veigar is continuing to get chunked down. Amumu is almost dead, and the Cassiopeia is melting through people. That is an ace for the blue team. The boys take a 5-man trade. They are going to run straight to Baron, it looks like, and reset. That was an incredible fight there in the bot lane. And if you'll see here, they are now up by almost 9,000 gold, 15 kills, 3 objectives, and 5 turrets. This is an incredible game going way in the favor of the boys. That Senna is starting to get a lot of distance, a lot of damage in her auto attacks. The heals are coming out, which is nice. That Cassiopeia, though, definitely just doing work in those fights. And there's the last tier 2 turret down. You've only got the red team with their base turrets and then Hibs left. There's not much they can do. They're going to try and get a little vision on those guys before they back out of there. Let's do a quick check-in. Gold lead. Almost a 2,000 plus gold lead in favor of top. A 3,000 almost gold lead for jungle. Mid is about even, and 2,000 gold lead on the bot side, and a 3,000 gold lead on the support. So there's a lot of gold on all of the people in this game. It's really a little one-sided. This is what we like to see when we're watching a match like this. Baron Nashor is going to fall over to the team, the boys, the blue side, and they're going to go for the engage. The red team is going to try and call dragon, but right now, I'd imagine that's exactly where the blue team is going to converge. Without the Amumu there, I don't know if they're going to be able to secure it. We're going to see a fight breaking out. Charizard comes in, is able to not steal the dragon. It will go over to the red team, but there goes a double kill in favor of Pantheon. He's going to get some damage onto the Veigar. Meanwhile, Fiora is chasing down the Ezreal, trying to stop this runaway. Looks like the Conqueror is procced. It looks like Cassiopeia is just going to try and melt through. Ooh, the ult misses, still gets a little bit of the stun. The E is continuing to come out here. Burning just going directly onto the Amumu, and he's going to tick away and fall to death. Meanwhile, 4 members from the boys are in the area, and they are going to fight this fight down. They blow up the Veigar. It looks like Ezreal is trying to chase after the Fiora. Isn't much he can do. The stun's going to come out from the Volibear, and that is another team ace in favor of the boys. Blue side gets their second ace of the game. They're going to get Baron. They're going to knock down objectives. They weren't able to secure Dragon, but I think at this point they don't mind too much. They're going to do what they can. Ooh, Cassiopeia gets engaged by the Nautilus, engaged by the Mordekaiser, gets second pulled in, is trying to melt down this Nautilus. His health might just tick away, and he might just kill the... Flash comes out of Mordekaiser, isn't able to kill either of them, but almost 2v1 the Mordekaiser and the Nautilus, 2 of the tankiest people on the team. I imagine that after this back with another item or so, she'll be able to do it if this game continues to go on. Meanwhile, Fiora goes in hard on the Amumu and takes him down. They are pushing from 2 waves here, getting both inhibs in the process. They're engaging hard on a 4-man team here. They're going to start to fall. They're going to lose Baron a little bit. You've still got 2 members of the team with Baron, maybe 3. 3 members of the team with Baron. They're going to try and rotate top and get some objectives there and keep the pressure coming in bot side. Senna's going to back because she's barely alive. Dat Joe is knocking on the door and putting some damage onto the turret. He might get caught out here. He's going to try and avoid the E. He gets stunned up, gets the pull from Mordekaiser, takes the damage, the passive is procced, and he uses his ult to get away and gives them a little thumbs up. Nice try, boys, but I'm better than that. And he's going to hover in the area and try and buff up those minions to get that inhib. 4 men show up to the top side to try and defend. Meanwhile, Cass gets blue, calls it a day, and it looks like with no objectives up for another 2.5 minutes, 2 inhibs down, no base turrets beside the Nexus turrets. They are going to go for the push here and clear out the jungle, deny as much golden experience as they can from the team, and see what they can do. And there's a fight brewing in the top lane. Veigar is putting a lot of damage down onto the Cassiopeia. She almost falls, not quite enough. Volibear securing more damage and is going to lock up the kill on the Veigar. Meanwhile, the damage coming out of the Cassiopeia is fierce. She's getting some healing, taking a little bit of damage, stuns up the Nautilus, gets pulled in, falls down over to the Ezreal. However, Dat Joe is locked up with 4 people here. Pantheon comes in, jumps in, he gets onto the Nautilus and blows him up. Volibear is able to get out of that and get the kill on the Mordekaiser, and it is a turn for the boys, breaking up everybody and killing 4 members, leaving only Ezreal stand. They will get the last inhibitor, and it looks like they're going to try and end here. It's 4v1, no inhib stand in their way, no more base turrets, just the last 2 Nexus turrets, and they've got 3 waves pushing in. They lock up the kill. Ooh, they lock up 1 turret, they push off Ezreal, and boys are going to win. It is a GG, 31-8, 14,000 gold lead. The boys win their second game, and they are playing for first. Stay tuned for the last game of the Clash Series to see if they are able to lock up first or second place here on Charles Elroy TV.
Wilted bodies slowly covering the light. Pull the trigger every night to stay alive. Hope is wishing, but you're running out of time. If I could only read your mind. Read your mind. If I could only read your mind.
All right, and thank you for tuning back in to Charles Elroy. We're going to be doing the last game of the Clash tournament of the boys. They are currently going for first or second place, so we'll see how they do. We've got Senna, Volibear, Zenzao, Cassiopeia, and Nocturne against Mordekaiser, Nautilus, Caitlyn, Trundle, and Urgot. A lot of the picks are the same from the second game, especially that Cassiopeia I expect to pop off. The Senna did great. Volibear was able to lock down a lot of champs. The Zenzao mid is going to be fierce, something wild to see. You're going to have to tune in for that. And then Nocturne top, going to be a lot of roam potential, a lot of gank potential. I expect the Mordekaiser to bully a little early, but we'll have to see how it goes. Let's find out.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
All right, the teams are set. Looks like we're going to have Urgot into Nocturne, Trundle into Volibear, Mordekaiser into Zenzao, and then you'll have Cass and Nautilus into Froggy on Cassiopeia and Super Cooper on the Senna. Let's see how this game goes. Good little 4-point out there. Nothing too crazy going on. I did want to see. So both of the junglers have Chilling Smite. Normally Urgot goes Corrupting Potion, so interesting to see that he went the Doran Shield and that Nocturne went the Corrupting Potion. I'm assuming he also probably went Biscuits as well, so he'll have a lot more sustain. A lot of dancing going on in the jungle. So far, this game is getting underway. Both bot sides giving a leash. Looks like Trundle's going to head immediately to top side, while Volibear is going to do a full bot clear. So interested to see how that'll go out. I'm still really interested to see how this Nocturne lane is going to go. I think this is going to be interesting as can be. Because I want to see if the Nocturne is able to bully or if he's going to get pushed around by the Urgot. A little too early to tell, but right now I'm excited for that. The Urgot does get level 2 advantage on Nocturne, so I imagine he's going to push him off a little bit from the wave here. And the Urgot continuing to just try and bully that Nocturne out of the lane. And it looks like there's a gank going on from Trundle on the mid, and it looks like Volibear is roaming top. The fear comes down out of the Nocturne. The flash from Urgot, the follow-up from Volibear. He's going to get the PTA proc and take quite a bit of damage and get out of there with barely his life. However, the flash comes out of Trundle after the Zenzao goes in on him, and it looks like the bot side team is going to secure the lower scuttle. Very spicy play, a lot of early ganks in this game, so I'm excited to see how it goes. Let's do a quick check-in on the CS. It looks like Urgot's got about a wave up on the Nocturne here after this, maybe even two. Xin Zhao's up a little bit into the Mordekaiser, and the bot lane's about even, so nothing too crazy going on there. We have the Dragon spawning in about a minute, so we'll see both teams start to prioritize that here shortly, I imagine. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to see everybody just farming out a little bit and see what they can do. Nocturne does look like he's starting to push in that top wave a little bit. I don't think he's going to get I think he's going to get frozen in a relatively unfavorable position here, so it looks like it's still pushing into him. Nocturne catches the send out, and she's able to use the speed boost just to get out of there. Takes a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. Going to let off a W afterwards. Looks like it landed on the Nautilus, but nothing of it. They're just going to use that to get a little peel there. Nothing too crazy. Oh, the Q comes out from Nautilus again. The shield comes out. Looks like the Cassiopeia is going heavy onto the Caitlyn there when they seem to engage and ignoring the Nautilus completely, which is what you need to do. I don't think they're going to like where they get this lane frozen here, and Trundle's in the area but not able to do too much. He's just going to hover for a little bit of support. Meanwhile, that Caitlyn is continuing to poke out the Cassiopeia here, doing quite a bit of damage to her between the Qs, the autos with that distance, increased distance that she has over the Cassiopeia. And here is the Xin Zhao getting engaged on. However, they're both fighting inside their wave. Who's going to take damage first? And it looks like it's going to go over to the Mordekaiser. He was able to secure the kill on the Pantheon. Very close match there, though. Q comes out from Nautilus. He isn't able to quite connect with that. Oh, there goes the stun onto the Nocturne. Level 6 drops. He's going to fire his ult here any second now, it looks like. After that, the Sphere came out. And Nocturne is going to run away and live to fight another day. We're going to go down here. Looks like Red Team was able to lock up that Ocean Dragon for the first drag, so that's good for them. And it looks like they might be going for a gank here bot side, but they're just going to let it ride out. Nothing too crazy. At this point, blue team's up about 500. Nothing crazy, but enough to be a little worried if you're the red team. And Trundle looks like he's about to come in on the Xin Zhao. However, Xin Zhao is going to escape and just get out of there. Looks like he might be roaming bot side for potential gank with how much they're pushed up. Pings come out though, and Caitlyn and Nautilus are going to back away. The Nocturne is equaling up that CS difference. He's down only about 6 now. Going to crash that wave in. Hopefully not take too much damage from the Urgot here. Everything else relatively even. The Cassiopeia up about 10 CS though, and looks like Red Team is starting to chunk away at that difference. They're about even now, so the 500 gold has disappeared that Mordekaiser built up for them there. Rift Herald's going to be spawning in about 30 seconds. We'll have to see how teams prioritize that. The Dragon is going to be coming up in 2:30. So again, we're going to see what kind of priority they put on the objectives that are spawning on the map at this point, especially as teams reset their vision and get back out onto the field. This is going to slowly be pushing into the Xin Zhao. However, he's looking like he doesn't like that very much, and he wants to get it going the other way so that he can play a little bit more aggressively. Got to watch out for that pole slam combo coming out of the Mordekaiser. It is dangerous, especially because that the pole, the slam, and then any kind of auto is going to proc his passive, which just starts to deal mad kinds of damage to the opposing champion. Volibear hovering for a gank. We'll see if anything comes of it. Looks like they're going to be going in, and he's able to get out of there and just barely survive. Caitlyn taking a little bit of damage from the Senna. Nautilus roaming back down. It looks like the ult has been procced. Trundle's going to hover in the area, wait for the Charizard to get out of there, and he is going to fall again, and Trundle is going to secure the kill. So that is 0-2 for the Xin Zhao mid. Late game, though, that could be a bigger threat, especially in team fights. Here comes the Conqueror proc from the Frog, from Cassiopeia, building quite a bit of damage. The Fear ended up, the Fear ended up landing on the Urgot. The ultimate ended up landing on the Nocturne, but he is still able to get away without proccing his death. He did not drop below the thresh point for execution, and so we will not see any kills go his way. Nocturne again taking a little bit of damage, but holding strong. It looks like the CS difference there about 2 to 3 waves. Nothing crazy, but it will start to add up. At this point, there's not too big of a difference because they've only backed once, but we will notice that when they get their items back. Alright, and it looks like the Trundle is going to clear vision from the Rift, and that's about it. Meanwhile, the Xin Zhao is going to go ahead and do a little bit of a checkup, make sure nothing crazy is going on in the area. Clears a turret plate for our bot side. Nautilus misses his Q, Senna misses her W. But there's a lot of damage coming out from the Senna onto this Caitlyn. Does that Caitlyn have a call? She does. The Caitlyn has a call. And it looks like there's going to be a fight brewing over Dragon here. Dat Joe going in on the Mordekaiser, trying to put out some damage. The Nautilus seems to join him here. Xin Zhao hovering in the area, and it's a 5v1 at this point. Charizard taking quite a bit of damage. The stun goes off from the Urgot, and he is going to get lit up and kill secured by the Urgot. Cassiopeia and Senna roaming into the area now, and they're about ready to try and push off some damage. The ult comes down from the Cassiopeia, and the kill secured onto the Nautilus. Dat Joe comes in, gets the kill on the Mordekaiser, but will fall to the Trundle. It's now a 2v2 in the mid lane, and Cassiopeia is starting to eat people up. The flash comes out from Trundle, and she is able to secure the kill onto the Caitlyn. Looks like they're going to go ahead and get the Scuttle and head on back down to lane. Meanwhile, in top lane, you've got the Urgot and the Nocturne continuing to fight it out. And we'll see how this gets underway. Looks like there's a lot of damage going on to that turret now. That's their second plate of the game. They might stay for another one. Looks like they're going to clear this wave out so the other one crashes relatively quickly. They're going to go ahead and back out of there. Nocturne in a very favorable position into this. There comes the ult. He goes into the Nocturne. He's going to drop the Fear onto him. However, the kill comes down, and Caitlyn is able to lock up the kill onto the Cassiopeia, and it looks like Super Cooper is going to fall. The ult comes out from Caitlyn and secures the kill. Nocturne went in on the Urgot up top side, but he was only able to put a little bit of damage out there. That looks like the Xin Zhao is hovering in the area now. Dat Joe is trying to start the Dragon. What's going to happen here? Looks like Mordekaiser roaming over, gets the stun off on him, and the blue team is able to lock up the Dragon. This is a little bit more back and forth than the last game the boys played, I promise you that.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Xin Zhao goes into the Mordekaiser, taking a little bit of damage in the process. Procs the passive on the Mordekaiser and tries to get out of there afterwards. The slow lands on the Nocturne upside, but he's just going to continue to do some of the CSing up there and continue pushing this wave and try and be as aggressive as he can to deny experience and gold where he can. Nautilus is roaming topside. Looking for potential gank. He's going to get spotted out on vision. And he's going to play back a little bit, but we could still see the Nocturne going in here. Looks like he misses his Q. They're going to let the wave crash, and that's going to be a missed opportunity from the Nautilus. Ultimate for Mordekaiser comes down. The Ignite goes down onto the onto the Xin Zhao. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Flashes away. The Ignite still going off, and the Slam misses. Caitlyn is able to lock up a kill on the bot side. Dat Joe going in on the Mordekaiser, gets a stun, trades out some damage, but isn't able to get too much done there, especially with the Nautilus roaming back in to help counter. And it looks like, yes, Caitlyn was able to lock down 2 kills on the bot lane and secure that down, so that is now a 3-1 Caitlyn, which you hate to see. Excuse me. I'm in the West Coast, so it's a little late here. Nothing too crazy, though. Some damage going down from the Urgot. He's just going to be clearing his wave. Though he is level 9, so his W is going to be up constantly, making him a massive... Oh, he's level 11, rather. I'm sorry. So he is going to be a massive threat in the team fights. Looks like Dat Joe and Nocturne trying to go on the Rift Herald. They're going to try and turn it on to the Urgot, but nothing's going to come of it. The stun coming down, the heal comes out from Caitlyn, the ultimate comes out from Senna. The Caitlyn's chunked out quite a bit of health, is going to back. Meanwhile, the Cassiopeia and Senna here are going to get first turret. Trundle may be coming in for a gank here. Looks like they are going to go for it. Nautilus lands on Froggy and is going to blow him up, giving the kill over to the Trundle. And that is 3 deaths on to Froggy. They're going to trade this tower back. And both tier 1 turrets are down for each the red and the blue team. Excuse me. So far, nothing too crazy going on in this game. Relatively slow pace. There have been a couple fights, but nothing outlandish. Looks like Rift Herald was secured by Dat Joe, which is going to be huge for them in terms of getting objectives. Gold lead still in favor of the blue by about 3,000 gold. The stun coming out onto... Oh! Urgot will lock up the kill there. He was able to get the stun, drop his ult, and then walk around and proc all of his extra damage from his passive on his W. Looks like Dat Joe is running topside to try and defend the turret, but it is very likely going to fall here to the Urgot. And that will be 2 turrets in favor of the blue team. Red loses its upper outer turret as well. Rift Herald getting dropped mid. Looks like they might try and get a second turret for themselves here. Quite a bit of damage coming down on the turret already, and it looks like, boom, it's still going to stay alive. Are they going to be able to kill it? They're engaging on that Joe. A lot of damage coming through. He ults out. Urgot roaming down for the kill here. Going to get the stun off on him. Gets his ult and is able to lock it up with the W, proccing the death, and it is now a 4-man push on mid. However, Nocturne, Cassiopeia, and Center in the area to try and defend. See pings coming down for assistance, and they're roaming pretty far out. Dragon is spawning here in about 5 seconds. W coming down onto the Urgot. Nocturne drops the ult, and they are going to have to decide whether they want to get mid turret here or whether they want to go to Dragon. They are going to decide they want the mid turret, they want the pressure, and they are going to roam topside and try and get that top turret pressure as well. Blue team is able to lock up the dragon. That is their second dragon of the game, giving them a mountain and an ocean and a cloud dragon. Xin Zhao is in the top side, continuing to wail on this turret. Froggy is going to join him. Nocturne is playing defense in the area, and now Senna's here as well. It is a four-man red push on top side, and now all outer turrets have been secured in favor of the blue team. Meanwhile, red team still has their tier 1 turret standing on mid. They will back and they will reset, making the gold lead only about a 1 to 2k gold difference at this point. And here comes the blue team pushing back and trying to get the mid turret. Trundle and Urgot going to escort this wave up. However, Xin Zhao's in the area, tries to get a little damage off with his W. Red team answers back and says, no thank you, we're going to trade right back with you. It is now a pretty even match between the two teams in terms of pressure on the map. Urgot trying to trade out with the volley bear here a little bit, putting out some damage on him while he takes raptors. Baron is up, though. I don't know if that's an objective anybody wants to fight over at this point or how quickly they can take it, let alone if the teams are in the position to do so. Nocturne on the bot side by himself. Ping's coming out that he maybe should not be. You've got Urgot and Nautilus in the area hovering. And good job being avoided by the Scryer Bloom. He's going to go ahead and have a safe back here. Red team does have position on the dragon, plenty of vision. They've got vision in the enemy jungle. They've got the waves pushing out. They've got top side beginning to push out, mid already doing so. And they did have somebody bot side to help try and counter that. That's what you need to do. Push and pull the map. I said it last game. Have somebody go to the opposite side, try and pull that map apart, and try and get as much as you can objective-wise for what's going on. You have the same amount of resources, same amount of people on the map. Use them to your advantage. Right now you can see the red team roaming together, trying to put themselves in a favorable position so that if there's a skirmish or a pick coming anyway, they are ready for it. Don't know what the red team was doing there. It looks like they were stacked for a potential pick, but nobody was coming their way anytime soon. And they're just going to reset and go ahead and get things pushing out again. Top wave pushing out for the red team. Mid wave getting pushed out by the red team. Urgot roaming bot side to go engage with the Nocturne. Xin Zhao going to go push that top wave out a little bit. And there are 4 men from the blue team doing the same thing. And we've got a lot going on right now, just a lot of vision clearing. Dragon coming up in 1 minute 14 seconds. However, I don't know what they're going to be fighting over next. It looks like the Nocturne's being chased out of bot lane. Xin Zhao's ready to assist in the area. That Joe taking a lot of damage from the Trundle. However, he's able to flash and get out of there. Meanwhile, we're just kind of enjoying the show at this point. Looks like the red team is going to give a 5-man push here mid. They were trying to get blue team was trying to get a pick, and they're going to get engaged on. That Joe going back in, trying to just secure some time, give the red team time to get out of there and get in. Looks like they're going to try and lock down the kill and blow up one of those team members. However, Caitlyn is able to secure the kill onto Xin Zhao. Froggy's able to get the stun on Mordekaiser and on the Trundle, and it looks like they will secure the kill on the Mordekaiser. They are going to try and blow up the Caitlyn, however, she might just barely get away. He gets the Q off, and he's able to kill the Caitlyn. However, Nocturne falls to the Trundle, and it is now a 2v2. Trundle is locked up and killed by the Froggy Falls, and now Senna is going to be fighting the Urgot on her own, trying to get out of there. However, the slow has slowed her down a little bit. Going to use the Blast Cone here and say goodbye. That was a fight, a 4-for-4 trade. Nobody really wins or loses that. However, it does look like Urgot is going to have the dragon on his favor. A little low, though, and he's going to back out and say no thanks. So 8 kills on the side of blue team. Still only about a 2,000 gold lead. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that they cannot come back from as far as the red team goes. Objectives relatively equal as well. As far as the turrets go, and it looks like red team is going to get down here and start up this dragon to try and put themselves even at a more even position here. Red team slays the dragon, ties up the objectives across the map. Meanwhile, blue team is going to push mid. Let's do a quick check-in. Urgot's got the Titanic Hydra completed as well as Trundle. Every mythic is completed throughout the map. A lot of Divine Sunders. A lot of Stride Breakers. So we will have to see how this game works out ultimately, but right now it's a pretty even match, everything considered. Blue team hovering over by Baron, red team responding to the push mid. And they're going to continue to shake hands and just farm the map, push it out, play around the map, and see what they can do. Red team right now, down a little bit of gold. Most of that is from the kills. As far as objectives go, it is tied up for the teams. So hopefully we're going to see them come online here shortly. I do feel like they have a little bit better scaling team. The Urgot will hit a point where he only becomes so bruisey. But the Volibear, the Senna, infinitely scaling, and the Cassiopeia are going to be big threats in the team fights. I like both of these teams' team fights, though. The Mordekaiser is able to take somebody out of the fight. You've got a lot of damage coming out of the Urgot. You've got a lot of slows and damage coming out of the Trundle. You've got quite a bit of distance and poke coming out of the Caitlyn. But you've got the ultimate from Nocturne blinding people. You've got Volibear being able to get the knockup with his ult and shut down turrets even if he has to. Quite a bit of damage and lethality coming out from the Xin Zhao, as well as the Cass and AP damage continuing to tick with their poison, and the distance and damage coming out of Senna. So it's really a back and forth. There's no way of saying one team is better than the other or has won the draft per se. I like this matchup a lot better than I like the last two matchups because it gives the chance that anything can happen. We see all 5 members of red team hovering in the top side of the map. However, Mordekaiser for the blue team pushing bot side, trying to get a little bit of prio and put some damage onto that bot side turret. Looks like Trundle and Caitlyn are going to join him. And it looks like the red team is going to notice this, push into it, and try and get some things happening here. Mordekaiser may be getting caught out here, and he is going to get blown up, stunned, and takes quite a bit of damage from the opposing team after he gets the turret and falls. Looks like Super Cooper on the other side fell towards the Caitlyn and the Trundle. The Nocturne is popped and is able to blind quite a bit of people. However, Froggy falls to the Nocturne. It looks like Trundle is going to fall to the Volibear, and it looks like Xin Zhao was able to lock up the kill on the Nautilus. That leaves Urgot topside by himself, pushing in that top side and getting the tier 2 turret. But it was a 3-man advantage for the red team and ultimately turns out in their favor for kills. They did, however, lose quite a bit of objective pressure off of the engage there, and it looks like they're not going to be able to get much out of it otherwise. And so, having lost 2 turrets off of that fight, but still getting 2 additional kills over the other team, we're going to see that the gold lead has continued to stay in favor of the blue team, but it is only 3,000. At 30 minutes, they have not managed to get much more of a gold lead than that. We've got another dragon spawning here in about 30 seconds. This could be soul point for the blue team, or it could put the red team at soul point. This is definitely going to be a dragon that they want to contest. Or they might decide, hey, we're going to take Baron and try and get some objectives ourselves. You go ahead and have the dragon. Slooper Cooper sensing something's off, getting the stun onto the Nautilus and knowing that there was a pick set up in the Pixel Brush. Mid-turret pressure coming in for the blue team, coming in for the red team as they're able to secure the turret. And Xin Zhao goes in on the Nautilus, gets pulled in by the Mordekaiser. The knockup goes in on the Nautilus. The ult comes out of Nocturne, and they are able to lock up the kill on the Nautilus. Urgot tries to re-engage on the wow! Nautilus tried to, Urgot tried to re-engage on the Xin Zhao, but was not able to secure the kill. He losed his ult, and then he was able to fall. It looks like Nocturne was able to lock down the Trundle, and now it is a 4v1 with the Mordekaiser trying to fight off Pops' Zhonya's, but is not able to survive. It looks like that Joe is going to go secure the dragon while the rest of the team head towards the Baron. And that is the first ace for the blue team. I mean, for the red team. And with the Cassiopeia there, they are going to begin to melt this Baron. That Joe was able to secure the dragon and put them on soul point and is going to be joining them to finish up the Baron. But it falls first. All 5 people have the Baron, and they are going to do a reset here and look at pushing with the Baron to try and get that top and bottom tier 2 turret and give themselves a little bit more pressure on the map. They're all back collecting their thoughts, and here they go. Xin Zhao is going to go mid and try and catch that wave. It looks like Nocturne is going to be heading bot side to push that out a little bit with that giant wave he's already got built up for him. He's got a couple more members going mid, and it looks like they're going to 1-4 the fight. You hate to see that many CS missed, but no problem, Nocturne. Shake it off. You got this. 4 people now mid, sort of. 4 people hovering mid. However, there is a lot of blue, and Froggy is in a dangerous position. He could be getting caught out by the Trundle or the Urgot there. We're going to see Nocturne continue to push that in, and let's see how this game starts. The ult comes down onto the Trundle. A slow goes on to Froggy. It looks like there's a 3 versus 2 man engage here. The ult comes in and Froggy falls. However, Urgot falls. Trundle falls and Urgot is almost down to fall. Some more damage coming out on the Urgot. He's barely going to get away. The Nautilus is chunked down, and Baron still stands on 4 members of the red team. They are going to push mid, get the base turret, and get the inhib here. Caitlyn trying to defend. Not much she can do. Damage coming down on the inhib. It falls. Red team is going to rotate down to bot side and get pressure where they can. And they are the first team to get an inhib, getting the pressure on mid. It's a 3v4 here in the bot lane area. However, Trundle and Nautilus are on their way. They are going to continue to put out damage. They have the Baron buff here. Urgot stepping up, trying to clear the wave, doing what he can. The Nautilus engage comes out onto the Volibear. Some damage coming down on the Nautilus from the center, and nothing is going to come of it. They're going to clear out a little bit of vision on their way out and say, thanks for the gold. The game is now a 3,000 gold lead in favor of the red team. This is the first time the red team has been in the lead. They're going to continue to push this bot wave turret in and try and knock it down. Cassiopeia roaming topside to put pressure on that side of the map. Meanwhile, Trundle and Nautilus and Urgot all running back down to the bot side as that topside turret is going to continue to take damage. There's a giant wave building up here on the top side. There is a giant wave building on the bottom side. Urgot's going to try and clear out this wave as much as he can. However, he's taking quite a bit of damage to the from the Cassiopeia there. And the bot turret does fall. The Urgot is backing. The Cassiopeia looks like she might escort a second wave in. No, she's going to back off as well, not having Baron buff and Baron having fallen off from the rest of the team. They will take the pressure that they got mid in that bottom turret and say, thank you, we've reset the game. There's another chance that they have to win. They have to win here. And it looks like Dragon's going to be up in about 1 minute or so we should see the red team starting to play around that. The blue team is going to want to try and deny that, put themselves on soul point, because if they do not, they are going to have an Ocean Soul on a team with Cass, which does not help with the movement speed. It does not help with the ult cooldown, and that's certainly not something they want to face. Alright, red team setting up quite a bit of vision control over the Dragon Pit, trying to poke out the rest of the team from even being able to see anything, let alone clear stuff out. The W lands on the Nautilus, a little bit of damage coming out from the Cassiopeia, however it is still going to be a 4v5 in favor of the blue team over by the Dragon. And it looks like Charizard is going to continue to take some damage, blows up the Caitlyn, and now is ulted by the Mordekaiser, flashes over the Raptor Pit, tries to get away and is going to get blown up. His sacrifice allows the red team to get the Cloud Drake, and they are now on not even soul point. They now have a Cloud Soul. The engage coming out from Dat Joe onto Nautilus and Mordekaiser. However, Trundle tried to get in there and get a little damage onto Slipper Cooper, but was not able to do so. The last turret falls on top side thanks to Nocturne pushing that in, and it seems to be a more dominant game in favor of the red. They currently have a 4,000 gold lead at this point. Urgot trying to clear as much of that wave as he can with his W out. There's a fight going on right here by the turret. We'll see what happens. Nocturne ult comes out. He is going to get blown up by the Nautilus. His Guardian Angel will be procced. That will take down the ult from Urgot. A lot of damage coming out on the blue team, but they are able to secure the kill onto Nocturne, and the red team does not get much for it. Clearing out the jungle as they go, just trying to deny as much experience and gold as they can for the enemy team. With blue team's inhibitor spawning here shortly, they are going to lose some of the pressure they got in mid, but they have gained much more pressure throughout the map, knocking down the rest of the turrets and matching that with the other team. So now they still find themselves in a gold lead of about 3,000, 2,500, having lost a little bit of that fight with the Nocturne because he had such a large bounty on his head. Excuse me. The Dragon is going to be spawning in about 4 minutes or so. The Baron is up, and I'd expect to see the teams playing around Baron next. Senna pushing out the top wave, Nocturne pushing out the bottom wave for the red team, and there's a 3-man group mid trying to push that wave in. We'll see what their plan is here. If they're going to try and set up for a pick. Oh, Xin Zhao gets caught out by the gets caught out by the Nautilus and gets blown up. Tries to drop the ult to save himself. Froggy now taking quite a bit of damage and gets blown up. The stun coming through. The Zhonya is coming through on the Mordekaiser. Nautilus misses his Q, and it looks like the blue team is thinking they're going to start Baron here. But they do have a jungler hovering in the area. It's not going to be anything more than a 50-50 if they have any kind of vision on it. Joe hops over, drops his ult, and is able to smite the dragon. He is able to smite the Baron away, and he's able to secure the Baron for the red team. Urgot gets the kill on Volibear. 2 fall thanks to Senna. Urgot goes down. Caitlyn gets the kill on Nocturne. That leaves Senna with the Baron buff. She's going to fall back to protect the base. Alright, we'll have to see how they utilize this Baron buff on their team. It's just Senna, so Senna is going to be very valuable in terms of where they decide to put her for lane priority. You've also got to remember you've got Dragon coming up in just under a minute here. And let's see what's going to happen here. You've got Cassiopeia pushing the bot wave, Senna clearing out some vision in the area, all 5 members of the blue team starting to come around to the dragon. Nocturne is pushing the top side. A stun comes out onto the Trundle. Stun comes out onto the Urgot. Blue team find themselves in a much more favorable position in terms of the dragon. We'll have to see what happens here. Stun comes out onto the Urgot. And quite a bit of damage coming out on the Urgot from the Cassiopeia. They are able to blow that up. Nocturne comes in, is able to blow up the Nautilus. The Trundle seems to fall to the Nocturne as well. It is now a 5v2. Red team is going to go on for the Elder Dragon and start to melt it down. Mordekaiser and Caitlyn are going to hover in the area, try and go for a steal. The slam comes down from Mordekaiser. However, he is going to take quite a bit of damage in the process, and it will be the red team securing the Elder Dragon.
Red team has slain the dragon.
And Mordekaiser falls down due to the Elder Dragon being secured and being below the health threshold. And it looks like Caitlyn is going to get blown up, and it is an ace in favor of the red team. They are going to push in on mid, push in on bot. Nocturne, Xin Zhao, trying to get that wave moving in. You've got Cassiopeia and you've got Senna working their way on the turret. Nocturne dropping the ult so that nothing can be seen here. A lot of damage coming out onto the Nexus. The game is not over yet. And the boys get first place in the Clash tournament. They were able to lock up the game, secure the kill. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed, give me a follow. I appreciate it.
Listen down.